I call them paper gods, because most of modern power isn't sitting in votes. It's sitting in agreements, stocks, valuations, confidence graphs. Numbers that only exist because enough people decided to keep pretending they mean something stable. Wealth today isn't a pile of coins. It's a shared hallucination with legal paperwork. Elon Musk sits inside that system as one of its most extreme examples. Not a trillionaire in actual liquid cash. Not someone pulling physical money out of a vault. But someone whose net worth is tied to ownership in companies like Tesla and SpaceX. Valuations that rise and fall based on markets, investors, speculation, and future expectations. Which means the number people argue about is mostly a confidence mirror, not a bank account. And that's where the contradiction starts, because society treats that abstract number like it is moral proof of importance, as if market value and human value are the same thing. Meanwhile, the people holding reality together are paid like they are interchangeable parts. Nurses work in exhausted shifts where the job is literally preventing death in real time, often underpaid relative to the responsibility they carry, while still showing up because the work is not optional for the world to function. Doctors navigating both medicine and bureaucracy, treating paperwork systems that can slow or block care, even when the intent is to save someone. Police officers in the US averaging roughly in the mid-5 figures to low 6 figures depending on region and overtime. A job that sits directly inside danger and public expectation, but still not insulated from financial pressure or instability. And veterans. Hundreds of thousands experiencing homelessness at different points in recent years. A population that reflects gaps in transition support, mental health care access, and housing systems after service. Not a symbolic problem, but a structural one. So you end up with a contradiction that feels almost deliberate. The people closest to harm are not the people closest to financial protection. And the people farthest from direct survival labor can accumulate influence that reshapes entire industries. That's where the phrase paper gods actually comes from. Not because these people are supernatural, but because society inflates abstraction into authority. Visibility becomes importance. Market confidence becomes worth. Attention becomes currency. And none of those things require someone to be directly responsible for keeping people alive. So a world can exist where a hospital nurse is more essential than almost any public figure, yet still struggle to afford housing in the same cities they keep functioning. And that gap is not accidental. It's the result of how incentives were designed, what we choose to reward, fund, and elevate over time. The uncomfortable part is that no single person is fully the villain of it, but the system still produces outcomes that feel morally inverted. Where care is expected but underpaid and spectacle is rewarded but not required to carry the same weight of consequence. And when people try to make sense of that imbalance, they often collapse it into personalities instead of structures, turning complex systems into simple villains or heroes, because that's easier than holding the full contradiction. But the contradiction is the point. We built a world where survival is distributed downward, and attention is distributed upward, and then act surprised when the distribution stops feeling fair. Paper gods aren't individuals. They're what happens when value gets decoupled from responsibility, and responsibility stops being the thing that decides reward.